Hallo en welkom by Ingesprek met Abidah Dixon-Mohamed. Saam met my in die ateljee vandag het ek twee jong moslim dames. En dit is niemand anders as Aisha Cassiem en Nafeesa Khereker. Maar vandag wil ek by hulle twee weet, aangesien hulle so jonk is, hoekom of wat het hulle nou eintlik laat besluit om 'n rokkie en 'n doekie te dra? En hulle gaan dan ook later vir ons aan 'n paar doekies nou lekker steek, sodat hulle vir ons 'n jong span kan wys dat jy kan jong wees, mooi en nog soos hulle sê, hip en funky. Assalamu alaikum, hallo dames.
Hallo.
Soos ek nou net gesê het, Aisha en Nafeesa, julle twee is nou so mooi en so jong. Baie van die kinders julle ouderdom het daai kort rokkies in, sonnedoekies en daai tipe van goeders. Maar wat het dan nou eintlik vir julle geïnspireer om dan nou doekies en lang rokkies te dra? Nafeesa?
Okay, for me it was quite a journey because I was in the music industry and I wasn't really, I was kind of part-time hijabi. What inspired me was my mother, and she basically taught us the middle way. So she kind of knew that we were actually going to, gravitate towards wearing the hijab and things like that. And as well, the internet. The internet played a huge role as well as working for the place that I work at as well in a Muslim environment.
Okay. So wat het die internet nou eintlik gedoen?
Well, YouTube plays a huge role when you don't really know how to, achieve a style that is not only interesting but that's different as well, and hip and funky, like Abidah mentioned before. So yeah, that's what led me to do this.
Aisha?
Okay, hijab. Growing up in a Muslim home, my dad's imam, and when I was small, my father was always like, you have to put on your hijab because you're Muslim, it's your identity. And when we're on school, we want to always try and click in with the friends, and everyone's already blowed out and stuff like that. And when I was in high school, especially I can remember in grade 9 and grade 10, that was the years that my dad would tell me, put on a scarf. I'd go out of the house with the scarf, and when I get by the gate, and then the scarf would be around my neck or in my bag. And when I come back home, the scarf will be again around my head. And hijab, as I started like growing up, matric, and starting to work now, I realized that doing this for friends isn't going to benefit me in future because at the end of the day, it's my life. I need to stand before Allah one day and answer, why did you not wear hijab, or why were you not dressed properly? And since starting varsity this year also, I was the only one in varsity in the class with hijab on.
Wow.
And at first when I stepped in the class, I felt like I'm going to be very one-sided. Everyone's with the hair blowed out, I'm the only one covered up. And people started asking, why do you wear hijab? And that's when I realized that I need to start knowing why do I wear hijab, because I need to be an example and tell people why am I wearing hijab. And this year really inspired me to do a lot of stuff, especially with hijab.
Okay. En nou dat julle nou eintlik nou so toedra, het julle vriende nou verminder?
Definitely. So I had a lot of friends that were in my life, all for good reason. I wouldn't say that I was involved with a bad crowd because I was never, raised to go that way. But definitely when I started wearing hijab, I lost a lot of friends. People used to ask me, but why? But like, what happened to you? Not the same person. And it's really crazy to me because people actually think that I went for personality change. That's what they don't understand. I'm basically wearing different clothes, but I'm still the same person. But they don't really appreciate that.
Aisha and Khereker?
I don't think friends really change when it comes to me because whenever we go out with friends, whether it's to the mall or family events or anything, I'd always have my hijab on. And that is my identity. If people see me walking, they know that it's Aisha. And I don't think not wearing a hijab is going to make you I won't say not make you a better person at the end of the day, but you have to be yourself. If you feel comfortable the way you dress up, then I think it's better.
En ek dink eintlik dat baie van die jong mense het eintlik 'n verkeerde persepsie as hulle hoor van hijab. Hulle dink dalk miskien hijab is met 'n stywe doekie en 'n lang oudtydse rokkie. Kom ons sê dalk miskien wat my ma gedra het. So definitief gaan hulle vir hulle self sê, no, that's not for me. Maar dis hoekom julle mos nou eintlik 'n voorbeeld kan wees om te kan lyk en wys. Maar 'n mens hoef nie daai te dra nie. Jy kan gewone klere dra en dan nog steeds mooi lyk. Is dit nie so nie?
That's so true. I mean, like I said before, the internet plays a huge role. And in Cape Town, because I live here, I can actually speak on Cape Town's behalf. When it comes to the youth, from what I've seen, a lot of youth are actually not buying into, but they're actually now experimenting with hijab, because I mean, it is a fashion statement as well. You can't lie about it, you know. So a lot of girls are experimenting, and I think for myself, I can speak only for myself. You know, when I was experimenting with hijab, I realized that that wasn't the only thing that mattered, you know, and I started to, you know, try to recite a little bit more Quran, ask the different sheikhs, you know, questions. I used to ask a lot of things, and it really got me into my deen as well.
And Aisha?
Okay, I always tell people that hijab and wearing a scarf is more than just a black piece of cloth, because hijab is about color, it shapes, there's a lot of different styles. It's all about you get creative with the hijab, because that's what I do. I always tell girls, don't just think it's something that's going to cover you up and keep you away from friends and stuff like that. There's a lot of things you can do with hijab and still be yourself.
So jong dames, as julle daarom nou 'n bietjie te skaam is vir julleself om te dink julle gaan oudtyds lyk met 'n doekie en 'n rokkie, dink weer. Maar nou as ek nou gou op daai oomblik want toe julle nou die dag besluit maar ek wil nou voluit gaan. Wat het deur julle gedagtes gegaan?
Well, what I did was I called my entire family into the lounge after supper, and I had actually performed my last gig that weekend, and it was the Sunday, and literally I woke up that morning. I didn't have a dream or anything like that, but when I woke up that morning, I just felt so different. I felt so liberated, actually. That weight was actually taken off my shoulders, and I just knew. I honestly just knew that this was the time for me to make a change in my life. And that night I was so nervous, and I told Mommy and Abi, I want to talk to you. And I called my brother, like, I just want to talk to you quickly. And everyone was in the lounge, and they were like, what do you want to say? And I said, I don't want to sing anymore. Please respect my decision. I know Mommy and Abi will definitely be supportive of that. And then my mommy said, you know what, if this is what you want, alhamdulillah, my kind. I'm very proud of you. And this is exactly what I knew you were going to do. And yeah, from then on out, I went straight into it.
And Aisha?
Okay, like I said, hijab has always been part of my life, but this year especially, with everyone in varsity, especially non-Muslims, because we had Muslim girls walking around with no hijab and no scarf. And it was so hard to identify whether they...
Net om jou te breek, Aisha, dink julle eintlik dat dit maak eintlik vir julle 'n bietjie dinge moeiliker om te dink dat ander dit nie wil doen nie en julle doen dit? Do you think so?
I don't say so.
Okay.
Yes, but like I was saying, and it was so hard to identify whether you are Muslim or not. And this year I just thought, because my lecturer embraced Islam, and then I never knew until she told me, and she started telling me, I like the way you do your scars and stuff like that. And it was Ramadan, and I just thought, I'm going to start doing something that will inspire youth, because we've got a lot of youth, especially Muslim girls in Cape Town, who are attracted to Western type of clothing and photography, posing in short skirts and stuff like that. And I thought, I'm going to do something that's going to inspire Muslim youth, but at the same time, it's Islamic also. And I started this photo shoot, like this hijab photo shoot. And after 2 days, I got over 50 entries, like inboxes on Facebook. People wants to, like, girls who want to enter, they said it was like very inspiring, and it's like it's something new for them. We need more stuff like that, because instead of being involved with things that are not beneficial for them, this is something that needs to be put down in Cape Town a lot for Muslim youth.
Nou, Nafeesa, ek het gehoor jy praat van die internet en daai. Het een van julle twee dalk al ooit besluit om julle eie ontwerpe, designers te doen?
Yes, it actually started with every Eid in my life. My mom let us have free reign over that. And funny enough, all my designs were very Islamic. And I've basically started hiring out my own Eid clothes, not to make money, but just to, you know, see how it's going. So it's a new business venture as well for myself. And with that as well, I enjoy writing. So I decided to start a blog as well, an Islamic blog, not to show off or anything like that, but just, you know, kind of like a public diary, if I may. You know, giving, like from everyday experiences, writing it down and coming to a conclusion as to what that was and how I can move forward from that. Alhamdulillah, 5,000 readers later, you know, it's still going strong. And yeah, I post my designs up as well, so that everyone can, you know, try to be inspired by that.
And Aisha, jy?
I also recently started 2 blogs. So it's I've got one that is basically just dedicated to hijab photography, and the other one is also hijab inspiration, where I write articles for the website and post it on the blog. And I also have like different fashion, like you've got clothes that you can't normally wear, but put it in an Islamic way. You can always wear pants under it or something long over that short item.
So jong moslim dames, as julle nou gedink het dalk of julle weet in watter rigting julle wil gaan nie, dink daaraan, dalk is dit een van dit wat julle wil doen. Nou Nafeesa en Aisha, dink julle ook dat dit is belangrik dat ons die ouers, kom ons praat maar van die ma, dat die ma eintlik 'n voorbeeld moet wees in die huis?
Oh, definitely. I definitely think so. Like, growing up, I used to get hints, like, you know, like when I used to leave the house, where are you going? You can't leave the house like that.
Yes.
You know, little things like that. And now she's like, she doesn't say anything because she knows when I get up, I'm going to do that. But in other homes, people don't have that. You know, people don't have that, that parent or that someone that's going to encourage you and that's going to tell you this is the right way, this is the wrong way. So it's definitely, it plays a huge role.
Aisha?
Like Nafeesa said, parents plays a huge role. I also want to say that things start in your house. Children see what the parents do. So if the parents doesn't wear hijab or they don't do what they're supposed to do, the children's not going to do it as well.
Maar nou Aisha, jy het nou so lekker vertel van jy sit jou doekie op as jy uitgaan by die deur en net om die draai sy af as jy terugkom sit jy dit weer op. En dan nou dink jy dalk miskien dat daddy en mommy het agtergekom my doekie was af.
I think they knew I did it because that time I was very young and somehow they should have known that I did it.
Okay, dan hulle het dalk miskien vir jou getig of enigiets gesê nie, maar net gemaak asof hulle nie weet nie.
But they told me every morning, keep that scarf on.
Okay, nou as julle nou jong en groot meisies en nou weet hulle nou min of meer nou hoe om julle doekie en julle rokkies nou sommer baie mooi. En ek sien dan ook julle klere is dan nou baie mooi gepas. Dit is nou 3-kleurig en dit is ook nou 3-kleurig. Dit lyk asof julle hou van 3-kleurig in steed van 2-kleurig. Is dit reg of verkeerd?
I just go with anything that there is really because I have a lot of black clothes. And I was also under the impression that you need to wear black and you need to wear dark colors because you need to cover yourself up completely. But then, you know what, I said to myself, I am covering up, I am dressing modestly. But let me try to look younger. So, color's the way to go.
Okay. Aisha, voor ons gaan vir 'n breek.
Clothing, most of my clothes, I kicked out all the short clothes that I used to have. And it's all long stuff. Alhamdulillah, I'm starting to get to that point, almost at the point, salat tops and all that stuff. But at the moment, just dresses and stuff with it.
Wel, bly ingeskakel. Ons gaan gou vir 'n breek. Ons is nou weer terug. Welkom terug by Ingesprek met Abidah Dixon-Mohamed. Saam met my in die ateljee het ek nog steeds vir Nafeesa Khereker en Aisha Cassiem. En hulle wys dan nou natuurlik vir ons jong meisies hoe om dan 'n doekie te steek en dat sy dan nog altyd kan mooi lyk met 'n rokkie en 'n doekie. En ek begin dan sommer eers met Nafeesa. Nafeesa, wat gaan jy vir ons jong span nou eers wys?
Okay, well, it's summer now, and we're wanting to do easy hijab style. So what I've got here, Tasmira has on a cotton hijab, a long scarf that is, and we've just basically pinned it to the side. So I'll just take that off again. So we're taking that part, and we're pinning it to the base of the scarf, and we've created some volume by using a flower grip, and basically tying her hair up in a bun, and tying the underscarf into a bun.
Okay.
And like as you can see here, there's some detail on the scarf as well.
Like
so we can yes, it is. So we've got our scarf like this now, with the detail at the bottom. And what we're going to do is we're just going to twist it like that so it creates some layers as well. And we're going to bring it across like that. And we're basically just going to throw it over so that it just drapes nicely. And that's basically it.
En kan ons so 'n draaitjie kry laat ons kan sien wat is in die agterkant?
Sure. You want that point to be at the back as well.
Okay. Kyk nou net hoe fraai is dit. So as u so ou kralletjies en goedjies by die huis het, moet hom nie weggooi nie, want onthou u kan dit nog steeds gebruik. Wel, dit is dan nou natuurlik Nafeesa se eerste enetjie en ons gaan dan oor na Aisha. Aisha, wat het jy vir ons hier?
Okay, I've got a very easy style that girls can make use of, seeing that it is summer, like Nafeesa said. This is 2 scarves. You can take any 2 colors of your choice. You just put it normal onto the back, make it tight, and you take the 2 points of the one side and you bring it to the front. And then what I like doing, either lace scarves or glitter scarves, it really puts a nice effect to the hijab once you put it on. Oops. You can just, because you can still see the color under. So if you're going to a wedding, wherever you're going, just take a glitter or lace color scarf and you can just throw it over. And especially this type of scarves.
Maar nou as die persoon nou nie hierdie ene wil hê nie, Aisha, daai 2 daaronder is sommer goed genoeg, nie.
Like I was saying, this alone is a style on its own. So if you don't want this, if you're getting too warm, take off this.
Okay. Alright. En dan gaan ons maar gou dan weer oor hier na Nafeesa toe. Nafeesa, watter enetjie het jy nou vir ons?
Okay, so we, like as you can see, Tasmira has on an abaya. And I'm going to show you a simple evening abaya look using some bronze and some gold. So we've got an underscarf here, normal square gold underscarf. And we're just going to flip it over twice till we get that size over there. Just wanting to cover the other 2 scarves underneath. We bring it to the back. We'll tie this up real quickly. Is that tight enough, Taz?
En ek sien eintlik nou hierdie groot bolle agter by die kop is eintlik so die styl.
Yes.
En dat baie mense daar baie daarvan hou.
Yes,
As
you can see.
Ek sien dan ook as hulle nou net dalk miskien so lang hare het, nee, dan sit hulle so een van daai groot rose hier agter.
And Auntie Abidah, I'm not sure if you know about the burqas, the simple burqas. They're now making burqas that has, I think, some type of foam at the back that you don't need to even put your hair up in a bun or anything like that.
Dit het ek gesien, ja. Hulle maak alles so makliker.
Exactly. And what I've got now is a simple black hijab.
Ja.
It's basically chiffon. But I have a detail here at the end that sometimes you can use like any style. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it like this. I'm going to place it over the head like that. So whichever detail scarf you're using, this can work for anything. I'm not saying go buy the exact same scarf now. Okay. So we're going to pin it at the bottom.
Ja, dis hoekom ek sê as jy kralletjies en goedjies het wat by die huis lê, hoef dit nie weg te gooi nie. Jy kan dit net aanwerk en dan het jy jou eie goedjies as wat jy gaan koop.
Definitely so. And another thing that I suggest people do is, don't be afraid to, experiment, with longer pins. Not just scarf. When it comes to pins, women are actually like afraid to use, those long pins. It looks like it can hurt you, which it can if you're not using it properly. But we're going to use that today, and I'm just going to pin that to the side so that it doesn't move. So we're attaching that to the hair and to the scarves underneath. Just like that. Basically just twirling it around again. So it's just pulling and tucking, pulling and tucking.
Maar nou Nafeesa vir die jongspan wat nou nie nog al die tyd het vir al die klompie goeders nie.
There's always a different route you can take. But this is beautiful, for your evening abaya. I'm sure everyone's got that flashy abaya that you only wear to weddings or to special functions and things like that. So that's the scarf style, Auntie Abidah. But what I love doing is, like I said, don't be afraid to experiment with pins.
Yeah.
And I'm sure everyone's got that necklace that broke or that odd button that fell off. And I've got this cool box of beads that I collect. And along with my pins, what I usually do is I take my pin and I take a bead and I basically just attach it to the bead and it looks really pretty.
Nog 'n beter styl te gee. Lekker.
and you just attach it as many as you want. I've got pieces of material that are made into little roses as well, like that. And I'll be attaching that to the scarf. So you're basically just creating a whole a whole bunch of flowers. You know, you want that effect.
So dit moet jy nou net vir ons vir die kamera wys sodat hulle nou net kan sien wat het jy nou eintlik aangemaak.
Sure. Let's do one more. And that's basically it. That's your Abidah style hijab.
Pragtige rosies, so jy hoef nie geld uit te gee nie, jy kan dit self maak met wat jy ook al in die huis het. Wel Nafeesa, dit is nou natuurlik jou tweede enetjie en ons kyk dan wat het Aisha natuurlik vir ons nou.
Okay, this is one of my favorites. I love the big colorful scarves. So I suggest those who have those big colorful scarves. There are a lot of styles that you can make use of. With the big ones, I would rather put it together so it's equal. Oops. And then let's put this over here. Like I did with the first style, I tied it up to the back.
Wel jong meisies, ek weet dit is nou warm en ek weet dis die somer en julle gaan sê julle wil seker nie so klompie doeke op julle kop hê nie, maar julle hoef nie. Enetjie is genoeg en as jy weet hoe om die doek te draai met enetjie, dan sal jy sommer pragtig lyk.
Okay, like I said, this is one of my favorite styles because there's so many things you can do with this long scarves. Like this one, just bring the end of the scarf, bring it to the front like that. And you can use 2 or 3 scarves as well.
Okay.
So the more scarves you have, the more colors will flow out. You can even do something a style to the back like that also, make a flower on the side or whatever you wish to do with it. But like I said, I love the style. Let it hang from your clothing like that.
Okay. Wel, dit is dan nou natuurlik die enetjie wat Aisha dan nou vir ons hier doen. En soos jy dan kan sien, is ook dan 'n los enetjie. As jy nou natuurlik jou nek wil so toe hê nie, maar dan is jou koppie dalk bedek. Wel, Nafeesa, voor die tyd ons amper inhaal, wat het jy dan nou weer vir ons hier?
Okay, so I've put on Tasmira's underscarf, which is basically just a blue chiffon scarf again. The reason why I'm using chiffon today is because you know it's really hot in Cape Town, and obviously we don't want to wear a see-through scarf on our head. As you can see, it's quite see-through, transparent. So we want to use an underscarf and one that matches at that. So I've got this really pretty zigzag scarf. It's got black, turquoise and hot pink. So I've basically just tied an underscarf. And what I'm going to do is, just going to drape it overhead like that. And again, if you would just hold that for me, Tasmira.
Okay. Altwee.
Yes. And I'm going to pin that over there. Really quickly, just pin that. So it's just, you know, stable and we don't want it to move again. And it's okay because it's really hot outside, so we don't need to actually take it off because it's a really thin scarf as well. So this part you can just hide under there. And what I like doing is I like pinning it to the garment that I'm wearing so that it doesn't move as well and doesn't expose. I need that part now. I'm going to give this a little twist. Very small twist. Just going to pin that to a head as well. And then with the remainder, you can just, again, like I did with the first time.
So dis net 'n klomp klere by mekaar.
Yeah. And I'm just going to twist it like that. Bring it over to cover up all the pins that I've just used. And again, it's just tucking away, you know, all the loose ends and things like that. And that's your daytime summer hijab.
Okay.
And you want to bring that tool out as well.
Wel, dit is dan natuurlik Nafeesa se laaste enetjie wat sy dan vir ons gedoen het. So en ons gaan dan vir Aisha vra vir haar heel laaste enetjie voordat ons afsluit. Aisha, watter een gaan jy vir ons doen?
Okay. I've got another easy one that you can make 2 scarves, 3 scarves like I said. Got one color scarf on top and then another long one. Like I said, you can take see-through scarves or lace scarves and then you can just put it on top. But I think you should use a more see-through scarf so that you can see the color.
Okay.
And then if you got 2 color scarves on, like black or blue, I mean, depending on the clothes you have, you can just twirl it so around. Just get a pin. And then depending on the colors, like I said, colors really makes a nice, it gives a nice expression with the clothes as well. So whatever colors you choose, you can just do something like that.
Okay. Wel, dit is dan nou natuurlik die einde van my program. Ek sê baie shukran en dankie aan Aisha Cassiem en Nafeesa Khereker vir wat hulle dan nou vandag hier vir ons jongspan 'n bietjie gewys het hoe hulle kan lyk. Al dra hulle ook 'n langer rokkie en 'n doekie, maar hulle kan nog pragtig lyk. Wel, tot ek weer met u gesels, maak 'n verskil. Ek is Abidah Dixon-Mohamed, maar onthou u kan vir ons kontak op die nommer 021 448 4448 of u kan gaan kyk daar op ons webtuiste by www.capetowntv.org. Totsiens.